Have you ever wondered what truly defines happiness in old age? Do you sometimes fear what life might look like when you're old and alone? What if this stage of life isn't an ending, but instead, a fresh beginning full of hidden opportunities? These questions may stir a quiet ache inside, yet they also open the door to something powerful. As we grow older, many of us experience moments when familiar faces gradually disappear, whether through loss, physical distance, or simply the natural flow of life's journey. But being old and alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. It certainly doesn't mean you must live without joy, purpose, or connection. In this video, we'll dive into 7 meaningful actions to follow if you find yourself navigating this phase of life. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're actionable steps designed to help you remain strong, feel deeply connected, and build a life that stays true to who you are at your core. From simple daily habits that cultivate emotional resilience to deeper ways of engaging with the world around you, each of these steps provides a clear and hopeful path forward. Be sure to stay with us until the very end, because what you'll discover here can do more than just protect your well-being. It can help you uncover new meaning, new purpose, and a renewed sense of fulfillment during your later years. What you learn today might completely change how you view this chapter of your life, encouraging you to embrace it with grace, hope, and confidence. Let's begin. The first step is to build a daily rhythm that brings you peace. One of the most valuable things you can do when you find yourself old and alone is to establish a daily routine that keeps you grounded. This rhythm doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, simplicity often makes it even more effective. When you start your morning, having a clear plan for what comes next brings structure and comfort to your day. It could be as simple as enjoying a warm cup of coffee at your kitchen table, taking a leisurely stroll around your garden, or sitting down to read a favorite book. These small rituals can become powerful anchors, gently guiding you through the day and bringing a sense of peace and purpose. Spending even just 15 minutes with a book can work wonders for your heart and mind, especially during those moments when the house feels a little too quiet. These small, comforting habits act as steady anchors throughout the day. People who build these peaceful routines often notice that their days feel less empty and more filled with a quiet, comforting sense of purpose. Seed. There's something deeply soothing about knowing that certain parts of your day belong entirely to you. Over time, this rhythm transforms into a reliable companion, offering a steady sense of stability, even on days when emotions feel heavier than usual. It gently reminds you that no matter who is or isn't by your side, you still hold the power to shape your day. Isn't it reassuring to know that you can choose how to fill your time? That sense of control plays a crucial role in maintaining emotional well-being at any stage of life, but it becomes especially meaningful in later years, when life often feels more unpredictable. To bring this idea to life, let's look at the story of Harold, an 83-year-old man who faced this very challenge. After losing his wife several years ago, Harold found his days stretching out before him, long and hollow. But slowly, step by step, he began crafting his own comforting rhythm. Each morning, he opens his window to let in the fresh breeze, feeds the birds that visit his backyard, and writes a few thoughtful lines in his journal. In the afternoons, he enjoys listening to the radio and allows himself a short nap. As the day winds down, he prepares a simple meal and sits on his porch, watching the sunset and savoring the beauty of the evening sky. These gentle, consistent habits provided Harold with something truly valuable, a sense of comfort, and a structure that made each day feel meaningful again, even without the presence of his beloved companion. Through these actions, he discovered that creating and following a personal daily rhythm wasn't just about passing time, it was about building emotional strength. By embracing this routine, you send yourself an important message. Your life still matters, your time remains valuable, and you are still the one writing your story. That realization alone can be one of the most beautiful ways to honor your experiences and celebrate the journey you've traveled. When you find yourself alone in old age, it can be easy to slowly retreat inward, pulling back from the world and letting your life shrink to the walls of your home. It's a quiet temptation, one that often comes without warning. But one of the most powerful ways to protect your emotional well-being and keep your spirit strong is to continue reaching out, even in the smallest of ways. Staying connected doesn't necessarily mean attending large gatherings or engaging in deep, heart-to-heart conversations. Often, it's about those simple, everyday moments that weave you into the world around you. It could be as small as exchanging a friendly wave with a neighbor, sharing a light chat with the cashier at the grocery store, or sitting quietly on a park bench, simply listening to the soothing hum of life surrounding you. These brief encounters hold more power than you might expect. They gently remind you that you are still part of the larger world, still connected to the rhythm of your community. Even the smallest social interactions can ease feelings of loneliness. There's something inherently healing about human connection, whether it's a shared smile, a passing hello, or a brief conversation, that nourishes the heart and uplifts the spirit. These everyday connections offer reassurance that you are seen, that you belong, and that your presence still matters, especially when close family members or lifelong friends may no longer be nearby. Over time, these small acts of connection create a quiet, meaningful network of kindness and mutual recognition. This web of support, though subtle, has the power to brighten even the darkest days, offering comfort and companionship in unexpected ways. Consider Evelyn, a 78-year-old woman living alone since her children moved to other states. In the beginning, she felt lost in the silence of her home, uncertain of how to fill the empty spaces left behind. But instead of retreating, she made a simple yet powerful choice. Every afternoon, she sat on her front porch, offering warm greetings to those passing by, asking about their day, and sharing a friendly smile. At first, these exchanges were brief, but they slowly began to blossom into something more. The mail carrier started lingering for longer chats. A neighbor's teenage grandson began offering help with groceries. A woman from down the street stopped by more frequently for friendly visits. One afternoon, the woman from down the street stopped by to drop off some fresh fruit from her garden. Evelyn soon discovered that the more she opened herself up to these little moments, the more deeply connected she felt. Not only to others, but also to herself. Staying connected doesn't mean you have to change your personality or push yourself into uncomfortable situations. It simply means allowing space for small, genuine interactions to brighten your day. These moments can gently remind you that you are not as alone as it may sometimes seem. Isn't it amazing how a brief smile or a shared conversation can spark such warmth inside? These little connections hold quiet power, offering reassurance and a renewed sense of belonging. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please take a moment to comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content designed to inform and inspire. Now let's continue. The third step is to keep your body moving in ways that feel good and natural to you. When you enter a stage of life where you may no longer have someone by your side, it's easy to let physical activity slowly slip away. The days may seem longer, and without a companion to motivate you, it can feel simpler to just stay seated, allowing the hours to drift by. But making the choice to keep your body moving, even in gentle ways, is truly one of the greatest gifts you can offer yourself. Movement doesn't have to mean strenuous workouts or long, tiring walks that feel like burdens. It can be something as simple as standing up and stretching your arms toward the ceiling, gently rolling your shoulders to release tension, or taking a slow, mindful stroll to your mailbox and back. What truly matters is reminding yourself that your body is still strong, still capable, and still yours to nurture. The beauty of gentle, consistent movement lies in its ability to support not only your physical well-being, but also your emotional health. When you move, even just a little, you are telling yourself that your life and your body are still vibrant, deserving of care and attention. When you move your body, even in gentle ways, you invite fresh air into your lungs, encouraging your blood to flow freely and lifting your mood in ways that sitting still simply can't provide. Movement helps ease stiffness, supports your balance, and can even improve the quality of your sleep at night. But perhaps the most important benefit of all is the sense of agency it brings, a powerful reminder that you are still in control of how you care for yourself. Let's consider the story of Walter, an 80-year-old man living alone in a small apartment. For a while, he found himself barely leaving his chair, feeling as if there was no real reason to move. His days began to blend together, and the stillness felt endless. However, after a health scare that left him feeling physically vulnerable, Walter knew it was time to make a change. Each morning, he began a new routine. He started by pulling open his curtains wide, welcoming the morning light into his home. Then, he would take a few gentle stretches by the window, loosening up his body before walking slowly up and down the hallway of his building, just twice, before breakfast. In the afternoon, he made it a point to step outside, even if only for a few minutes, to stand in the sun and feel its warmth on his face. These simple, deliberate acts of movement did far more than just improve Walter's physical strength. They gave him hope. They brought back a sense of accomplishment that began to brighten his mood and restore his confidence. The truth is, your body is your lifelong companion, walking with you through every season of life. It deserves your kindness, your care, and your consistent attention. When you make the choice to move, in whatever way feels good to you, you are choosing life, pure and simple. You are telling yourself that you matter, that today is worth showing up for, and that even if you find yourself alone, you can still create powerful moments of strength and vitality. Movement, in all its humble forms, remains one of the purest, most meaningful ways to honor your personal journey. One of the most comforting things you can do is to fill your days with small joys, those simple pleasures that belong entirely to you. These little delights don't have to be grand or expensive. In fact, it's often the simplest comforts that bring the deepest sense of peace and contentment. It might be something as gentle as tending to a potted plant on your windowsill, watching it grow a little more each day. Or perhaps it's playing a favorite old song while you sip your tea, letting the familiar melody stir pleasant memories. Maybe it's baking a simple loaf of bread, filling your home with its warm, inviting aroma, as the scent wraps around you like an old, familiar friend. The beauty lies in choosing moments that genuinely lift your heart. Those little reminders that life, even in its quietest, most solitary hours, still holds beauty and wonder. When you create these small joys for yourself, you're not just filling time. You're giving your spirit something to look forward to. You're adding bits of light, warmth, and color to your day, gently breaking up the sameness. These moments become quiet acts of self-care, softly whispering to your heart, I am still here, and I am worthy of kindness. And over time, these simple pleasures have a remarkable way of shifting your focus, not toward what you've lost, but toward what you still have and the beauty you're still capable of creating. Take Frank, for example, a 79-year-old man who lives alone after his brother passed away. In the beginning, the silence of his home felt heavy, almost unbearable. But slowly, Frank began embracing small, meaningful routines that brought him comfort. He started his mornings by lighting a candle at breakfast, a quiet ritual to remind himself to be present and grateful for the moment. In the evenings, as he tidied up his kitchen, he played classical music, allowing the soothing melodies to wrap around him, calming his thoughts. And once a week, he treated himself to a fresh bouquet of flowers from the market, a simple gift of beauty, placed right on his own table, just for him. These small acts of kindness toward himself gradually transformed the way he experienced his days. His solitude no longer felt like emptiness. Instead, it became peaceful space, filled with gentle purpose and quiet contentment. The true power of small joys lies in their accessibility. They are always within your reach, waiting to bring a bit of light into your life. These small joys are always within your reach. They don't rely on anyone else's presence, approval, or participation. They are simply a way to remain connected to yourself, to discover beauty and meaning in the ordinary moments of everyday life. Through them, you reclaim your ability to shape your own happiness, even in solitude. Isn't it comforting to know that these quiet pleasures, however simple, can lift your heart anytime you need them? They're like little reminders that peace and joy aren't always found outside, but often come from within. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support helps us continue sharing valuable content that aims to inform, inspire, and brighten your journey. Now, let's move on. The next step is to make peace with your memories. As the years pass and you find yourself spending more time alone, memories often become a complex mix of comfort and sorrow. There are days when they feel like warm companions, bringing a smile to your face with a song that recalls an old dance, the familiar scent of a meal that transports you back to your mother's kitchen, or the sight of a faded photograph that stirs feelings of love and nostalgia. But there are also moments when memories bring an unexpected heaviness. The echo of a loved one's voice, the thought of times that cannot return, or a glimpse of something long gone can spark deep feelings of longing, regret, or sadness. It's natural to feel both comfort and pain when looking back. What truly matters is how you choose to carry those memories. Making peace with your memories means allowing them to come and go without letting them take control of your emotions. It's about honoring the joyful moments, forgiving the painful ones, and gently setting down the parts that no longer serve your well-being. It doesn't mean erasing the past or forgetting what once was. Instead, it's about letting your memories coexist with your present life, without allowing them to weigh you down. By doing this, you free yourself to fully embrace the present, to see today not as a shadow of the past, but as a gift that still holds beauty, promise, and opportunity. Let me share the story of Helen. An 85-year-old woman, spent many decades carrying a heavy heart after the loss of her only child. For many years, she couldn't bear to look at old photographs or speak about the past. The pain felt too overwhelming, and she feared that even a small reminder would open the floodgates of sorrow. But as time moved forward, something within her began to shift. She slowly started to approach her memories from a place of tenderness rather than fear. She created a quiet, sacred corner in her home, a small space with a framed photograph and a softly glowing candle. It became her personal place of remembrance, where she could sit in peace, allowing herself to honor the enduring love she would always carry in her heart. Gradually, she began speaking more openly about her child. She started sharing joyful stories and fond memories with her friends and neighbors, letting laughter mix with remembrance. Through this gentle process, Helen discovered that her memories no longer weighed her down as they once did. Instead, they became a quiet source of strength and comfort. She realized that by making peace with her memories, she was giving herself permission to remember with love, not with sorrow. She reminded herself that while her past had shaped her, it didn't have to define her future. This act of acceptance became one of the most compassionate gifts she ever gave herself. It allowed her to step into each new day with a little more lightness, a little more grace, and a heart that could once again embrace the present. Now we move to the next step, finding simple ways to be useful. When you reach a stage of life where you are alone, it can be easy to feel like your sense of purpose has begun to fade with the passing years. You may wonder, do I still have something meaningful to offer? The truth is, no matter your age or circumstances, you absolutely do. Finding small and simple ways to be useful can fill your days with meaning and gently remind you that you still have an important role in the lives of others. It doesn't have to be grand or complicated. It could be as modest as helping a neighbor carry their groceries, sharing a few extra vegetables from your garden, or picking up the phone to check on a friend who's facing a difficult time. The beauty lies not in the size of the gesture, but in the intention behind it. These small acts of kindness, when offered with sincerity, carry the power to brighten someone else's day, and yours, too. People who choose to help others in small, thoughtful ways often discover something unexpected, their own burdens begin to feel lighter. When you extend a hand to someone else, you're not just offering assistance. You're creating a connection, a shared moment of humanity that can brighten even the loneliest of days. You gently remind yourself that you are still part of something larger, something meaningful. Your life, no matter how quiet it may seem, still touches others in ways that truly matter. And those acts of kindness, no matter how simple they may appear, have a beautiful way of filling your heart with warmth and quiet pride. Take Robert, for example, an 81-year-old man who lives alone in a quiet neighborhood. After his wife passed away, Robert found himself feeling aimless, unsure of what to do with the long, empty days. He struggled with that lingering question: what should my days look like now? Then one morning, he noticed his neighbor's trash bins sitting heavily by the curb, difficult to move. Without hesitation, and without being asked, he began pulling them out to the street each week. That simple action soon grew into more. He started leaving kind handwritten notes of encouragement for the young family living down the block. He offered to water his friends' plants when they traveled. Slowly, these small gestures became part of his weekly routine. These thoughtful efforts gave Robert's days renewed structure and purpose. They reminded him that his presence still mattered, that even in this quieter chapter of life, he still had something to offer. He realized that being useful isn't about grand gestures or public recognition. It's about finding small, intentional ways to brighten someone else's day, and in doing so, brighten your own. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support allows us to continue creating meaningful content designed to inform, inspire, and encourage. Now, let's move forward to the next step, keeping hope alive for what is still to come. When you find yourself alone, it can be easy to slip into the belief that all of life's best moments are behind you. The quiet can sometimes convince you that there is nothing new left to experience. But the truth is, there are still new joys to discover, fresh connections to make, and surprising experiences waiting for you, even in the later chapters of your story. Keeping hope alive means staying open to those possibilities, no matter how distant they may seem. It means believing, deep in your heart, that life still holds unexpected delights. It's trusting that your heart can still be touched by beauty, that a new friendship, a renewed interest, or a fresh sense of purpose could be just around the next corner. Hope doesn't always announce itself with grand, dramatic moments. More often, it arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, in the simplest of ways. You might feel it in the first bright bloom of spring outside your window, in a kind smile or warm word from a stranger at the grocery store, or in the satisfying joy of learning something new. The simple act of looking forward with curiosity instead of fear has the power to change the way each day feels. It gently shifts your perspective, allowing you to wake up each morning with a spark of wonder rather than a sense of dread. And that subtle change in how you approach each day can bring a richness to your life that words can hardly capture. Think of Carolyn, an 84-year-old woman who spent many years convinced that nothing new could come her way. She believed her days were set, her opportunities long gone. But one afternoon, on a whim, she decided to attend a community art class at her local library. She didn't expect much, just a way to pass the time. But there, she met others who shared her love for painting. That one choice led her to become part of a small, vibrant group that gathered every week, creating art together and sharing laughter. Through this experience, Carolyn discovered that even in her 8th decade, she could still make new friends, explore new talents, and feel the thrill of possibility. Hope gave her a reason to look forward again, to embrace her days with open arms. When you choose to keep hope alive, you are making a powerful statement to yourself and to the world around you. You are choosing to believe that life is far from finished with you. There are still beautiful moments waiting to be felt, still kindness waiting to be shared, and still countless reasons to smile as your story continues to unfold. There is still so much to give and receive. there are still beautiful memories to create. And that hope, that quiet, steady hope, is what transforms the stillness of solitude into the peaceful promise of possibility. As we reach the end of this video, I invite you to take a quiet moment to reflect deeply on the 7 important steps we have explored together today. Which of these touched your heart the most? Which ones do you recognize already playing a role in your daily life? And perhaps most importantly, which of these are you ready to embrace as you continue moving forward? The journey of aging, especially when we walk it alone, can sometimes feel overwhelming. It may seem like an endless stretch of quiet days, but within that quiet space lies a powerful opportunity, a chance to rediscover your inner strength, to tap into your wisdom, and to realize that you still hold the ability to shape your days with meaning and intention. These 7 steps are not simply about filling your time. They are about something far deeper, about honoring yourself, nurturing your spirit, caring for your body, making peace with your memories, and keeping your hope alive. They are reminders that, even when the people who once stood beside you may no longer be present, you are never truly without purpose or value. Every small choice you make, every gentle act you carry out, is a way of telling yourself that your life still matters, that your days are still rich with light, beauty, and possibility. What resonated most with you today? We would truly love to hear your thoughts. Please take a moment to leave a comment below, sharing one insight that spoke to you and how you plan to bring it into your life. Your reflections mean a great deal to us, and reading your comments brings us great encouragement and inspiration. If you found this video helpful and meaningful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support allows us to continue creating heartfelt content designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you health, happiness, and peace always, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring videos.